Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dave Strider, and I'm your independent candidate running for the U.S. Senate in the state of Washington. And anyway, how you doing tonight? I was going to share something with you, and I don't know if it's going to come across too good. But anyway, on this page, on this website, if you go to comments or postings that have happened on the page, there's a link that takes you to military bases in Africa. That's going to be our topic of discussion tonight. For those of you who are just tuning in, my name is Dave Strider. I'm an independent candidate for the office of U.S. Senate, representing the people of Washington State, being a public servant. And as an independent, I don't take super PAC money. I don't take large bundles of money. I don't take corporations either. And regrettably, I don't take any money from any unions as well. I consider that bundled money. But I am an independent, and the reason is so that your voice is heard. Not a corporation, not the dogma of a political party, but your voice. What you want and see that we need as a nation. Pointing out things that are broken so that we can move to fix them. Remember, we are a sovereign nation. We are no longer beholden to the gold standard. When President Nixon, took us off of the gold standard, the way that we appropriate funds for the needs of this nation, not tax breaks to the corporations, which is the way it is now, but the needs of the nation can be met. Overnight, the way we appropriate funds for this nation and the people, for projects, to move wherever we want to in the nation, in the world of nations, we have that ability. Okay? So, let's get there. Okay? Let's get there. Good evening, Agnes. I did say that right, didn't I? Yes. And good morning from Indonesia. I know what it's like to live on the other side of the world, and it's a pretty cool place out there. So, welcome, and I'm glad you tuned in. You know, it's something that you could help me with, Agnes, and that is, what is perception that Southeast Asia, Asia in general, Indonesia, the island down there, the people, how do they generally feel about us as a nation? I know that I enjoy traveling and experiencing different cultures. I enjoy that. Seeing the people, getting to know the people, I enjoy that. Our Americans look on favorably our nation and how it governs. It's important to me. Okay? It's important to me, Agnes. And it's important to a lot of Americans too. The way things are going in this country, I mean, things need to be changed. And you hear the word progressive. You also hear the word independent. Yeah, how do you feel about USA? I mean, there's a lot of good about the USA, but is there a fear of America? a distrust of America, the USA. I mean, if there is, that's why there are people like me that are running in 2018 to go to our Congress and to go to our Senate, in my case, the Senate. And we want to change the perception on how we in the United States treat our neighbors, to withdraw our military bases. We don't need military bases all over the world. We are a republic, not an empire, but a republic for the people and by the people, for which it stands. All right? But we are a republic. And our history has not always been kind. I know the way it's read in my books that I learned. Okay, I learned that. But I also try to learn histories of other cultures, other people. I think that's important. But anyway, military bases in Africa. Why are we putting so many bases? If you'll click on that link that's on my page, you'll see the number of bases. And it describes, and this is a chart from Huffington Post, and but it says where the bases are, what kind of bases that they are. And my question is, why? What is the mission there? Are we going to start sending in regiments and battalions, highly trained Marines or Army? Are we going to start droning the place? It's important that Americans know. It's important that we don't go and involve ourselves in other people's affairs. I can see in the place of genocide, and thank you, Agnes. I appreciate it. Okay? Thank you. I can see us wanting to intervene in the event of genocide. But is it the real story? Is what happening there? We can't let any type of news that is not true get us to send our men and women into harm's way on something that is based on lies or just to make money for the military-industrial complex. It's important also that we as a nation build our nation. Just because we have highways and ports and cruise liners coming in and airports that we can fly in and out of, our infrastructure is failing. The people in Flint, Michigan don't have safe drinking water, and that's only one of the municipalities around this country that are affected the same way. When the governor of Michigan created a dictatorship and put czars, commissioners, commissars in charge of duly elected municipalities, took all authority away from them. I believe his name is Snyder, okay? Michigan, you know. Michigan used to be a very robust area. Automobile industry. Factories started moving offshore. Oh, yeah, you can answer openly here, Agnes, if you'd like to. This, basically, you're kind of on American soil right now. You've joined into this broadcast, and we're broadcasting from the United States, so that kind of puts you kind of like in another dimension, but on American territory. Kind of like being on the other side of the fence at the U.S. Embassy. So if you prefer to do privately, okay, you can private message me, just like you would messenger someone else. You can just private message that, okay? My staff is the only one that has it, and we do not broadcast anything that comes across to us in private message unless the person who sent it to us wants us to. Now, we can take the information and we can act on it, and we have a place to start. But if you'd like to, you can. If not, you can do the private message, okay, Agnes? I want you to feel secure. I don't want anybody thinking that Big Brother's looking down on this broadcast. And quite frankly, I hope they are. We are not terrorists. We are not dissidents. We're not talking about armed overthrow, a coup d'etat. We're not talking about that. We're talking about preparing for elections and enlightening the people. The ones who already know the lies have been told are helping awaken those who have heard the lies and show them evidence that this is what is happening. I saw a really unique video the other day here on the internet, and it was on, I believe it was Fox News. They were Trump supporters there, and the commentator, it could have been another broadcast, another news agency, but this person said, "Can you name some of the accomplishments that President Trump has done?" And this guy went into, well, there was so much breadth and there's so much energy, and I mean, there was so much that had to be done, and he didn't say anything, just like Trump. Didn't say anything. And when he said something, when Trump would say something, or when he does say something, most of the time he's putting his foot in his mouth. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to our president, but he's a businessman. He was on television. He should have a little bit of stage presence to be able to get his message out and to tell us the truth when he does it. But the story changes. I mean, the story can change again before he leaves the podium. I feel sorry for our president in some ways. I feel sorry for him because it appears that he's never been able to own up to anything that he's ever done wrong or against somebody else. That is a sad part. That is a very sad thing. That a grown man, he's older than I am, but a grown man who cannot tell the truth, that has so many secrets that he's afraid that if he doesn't lie, somehow the truth might come out. The truth will set you free. I mean, Donnie, the truth will set you free. Why are all those people, those men and women, those bases, military bases, even if it's just a Radio Shack and there's U.S. Service people manning that station, they're deployed there. Come on. Why? What are our interests in Africa? Are we going to send our military-industrial complex in there and rape the continent for every usable mineral, every bit of their resources? Are we going to steal from them? They are not what you experienced, America, when we first came to this land in the North America. When our forefathers, our ancestors came to this land, there were indigenous people there. And I'm telling you right now, the history of Africa is rich in culture. And if you guys in the Republican Party believed anything about science, you would also know that probably, more than likely, all human ancestry came from that area. That's right. Northeastern Africa, going around a little bit in the Saudi Peninsula, into the Middle East, including Egypt, parts of Libya, I believe. Yeah, the cradle of civilization. And Jesus wasn't white. He's not a Caucasian. So where you get all those pictures at, I don't know. But anyway, my thing is, don't go in there. Why do we need our bases in there? We already have bases surrounding Iran. We are guarding poppy fields in Afghanistan. What are we going to get out of Africa? Are you worried that the Chinese may be going in there and investing money in the infrastructures and things of that nature? You know, I can't help but think that the more developed nations are going to go in there and take advantage of the small countries, those countries that some have just gotten freedom, some of that are just learning a little bit about democracy and the rights of people, the voice of people. There's a lot of bloodshed going on, a lot of warlords there still. This is the 21st century, and we have warlords. It sounds like medieval China, Japan, Europe, the British Empire, the Incas, the Aztec. So, I mean, why do we need to go there? Do we need to have another accomplishment? Do we need accomplishments that dictators could not do? That we can have the title, the largest empire in the history of mankind? Let me set you straight. We are a republic. We are a republic. We are not an empire. We can send people in to help nations grow technology, help them grow, show them alternative power sources. Yeah, show them alternative power sources so that they don't depend on oil and coal-fired plants to produce their electricity, and no nuclear plants providing power. I don't think that's too much to ask. They could be pretty much the cornerstone of the Southern Hemisphere when it came to using alternative power sources. But instead, we just had 4 U.S. servicemen, specialists, killed in an ambush. The fog of war. The fog of war is what they called it. And what that means is our intelligence says that everything's okay, but we don't know for sure what may or may not be there. They tell you they know what is there, and they don't know what may or may not be there. A good commander doesn't want even one soldier to die. You sent 4. What was it? I mean, I understand that you were probably following orders too, but I know that you as a commanding officer have a lot of breadth in what you can do. And all I'm doing is saying, what are we doing there? What are we protecting? What are you looking for? Who are you trying to influence? Why are you trying to influence? Why can't we be good neighbors? Why can't we be good neighbors? Good brothers. Be a nice big brother to an emerging nation. What are you afraid of? What is there to fear? I don't see any fear in my life coming from Africa. I don't see any reason why we should have so many military people there. I could see perhaps having a central base in Africa. A central base, yes, a port city, close to a port city, or do what our military does anyway, just build our port. We have the people and the equipment to do it. Why don't we just build a central port? The reason I say that is in the event of a catastrophic environmental thing, we would be able to send in our military with helicopters, trucks, amphibious vehicles. We'd be able to address whatever occurred. We'd be able to make sure that there was food, water, fuel, everything that was needed to resustain the people who were damaged or hurt by that incident, that event. Not doing the war thing. Yes, military is going to have their weapons. Okay, you don't send that many military people into an area with no weapons or weapons and no ammunition. Okay, but what are we doing in Africa? Annie Whetstone, good evening. He used to be much more articulate. Am I slurring my words? I won't take it as an insult. I will not take it as an insult. Is that what is happening? That I'm not enunciating correctly? Annie, Anne. Am I not speaking clearly? Okay. But anyway, I'm going to watch how I'm speaking now. I'm going to take that as a warning shot. But military bases in Africa, we don't have any reason to be there. No more than we need having troops guarding poppy fields, opium fields in Afghanistan. Why are we guarding opium fields? Why aren't we bringing in attacks on those poppy fields? Why aren't we destroying those poppy fields? Don't we have a heroin, opioid issue here in the United States right now? Isn't that what our president said? That we have that event going on with us? That we are, in fact, experiencing a catastrophic event with the addiction? Are we going to have another war on drugs? But why aren't we destroying those opium fields in Afghanistan? We should be doing that. I am a veteran. And I know what it's like to be scared. The important thing is, why do we need to have these military bases? Africa is just the latest that we found out. Here we're going to probably find out that we have a lot of people in South America, in Latin America. So we have to decide, do we want a military-industrial complex? I don't. That's why I am running for the office of U.S. Senate. That's why I am an independent. I am in the state of Washington, in the city of Tacoma. I don't kowtow to super PACs, corporations, bundled money. The only voice I want to hear is yours. That's the only voice I want to hear. Because it's your voice. It's your voice, as it has always been in this country. It's our voice. Together. Yours combined with your neighbors, your brothers, your sisters. And then having someone who wants to represent you in our nation's capital that is hearing, and we're talking about those issues. So many times I want to hear. I want you to speak up. Change the direction of the conversation on another issue. This is an open forum. Coming up after the general elections here this coming November. Now, general elections here in the Puget Sound, where I'm located at, in Tacoma, we have the Port of Tacoma. So we have a lot, this off year, we have a lot of progressives running for city council, port authority, commissioners, councilmen, mayors. We have a lot. I've already cast my ballot. I did that yesterday, day before yesterday, but it's already there. And I encourage you, if you're in Washington or you've got an election coming up in your area, if there's early voting, do it. If you got your ballot, don't wait till the last minute. Fill it out. There is some changes in how we mark our choices in this year's ballot. So you want to make sure that you follow the instructions. Okay? I mean, us guys, you know, we have a habit of not following instructions. You can ask anyone who has watched us put together a desk from Walmart or shelf thing from Walmart. You can ask us. You can see it. But there's instructions this year on the Washington State ballot here in Pierce County, where I reside. So get out there and vote for your progressive, okay? Let them know that you're thinking about them by putting them in that place, that position that they've been running for. The progressives that want to protect the environment, but still have good things happening. Instead of a liquid propane tank plant, LNG, that uses fracking gas, which causes environmental damage, make a saltwater desalination plant. Make fresh drinking water from the inlet. Water treatment plants, so that when water is put into the Puget Sound, it is clean. It is clean water. A lot cleaner than what it would be if it didn't have a treatment plant. But practice on the environment. Building the infrastructure first before you start bringing in more people and then playing catch up because the infrastructure wasn't able to sustain the new work, the new tenants. Okay? Infrastructure first, Tacoma. Infrastructure first, Washington State. Then think about expanding your customer base. And then start looking for those customers who might be environmentally friendly and not wanting to put pipelines over native lands. So look for those kind of people out there, Tacoma. Look for those kind of people out there, Washington. Look for those kind of people out there, America, okay? Look for them and vote for them. Now, are there any questions, any comments on military bases that we have spread throughout the world? Now, we could talk about the bases that are around the entire world. There are 38 military bases, over 38 bases, different kinds of bases in Africa. Just click on that link and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a lot. I mean, if I had the production value where I could put up a split screen and show you on the split screen what it was, I would love doing that, but I can't. So, do we have any questions, ladies and gentlemen? I want to thank you all for being here, especially halfway around the world. Agnes, thank you for joining us. And I hope you're, it's early morning there, I believe, getting to be early morning. We have early evening here now. But thank you for joining us tonight, Agnes. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And everyone else who showed up. And Annie, I hope that I did speak clearly. I apologize if during the night, that's why I mentioned to you, everyone, I have several times, and perhaps I didn't tonight. But if I say something that doesn't make sense to you, question me on it, please. Question me. Because if I'm wrong, that way I can correct myself. Sometimes I have something typed up here. Sometimes I'm just talking about current events, things that interest me, things I know you're wondering about sometimes. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I get the same stuff too, okay? Well, I didn't know that. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you. My name is David Strider. I'm an independent candidate running for the U.S. Senate seat here in Washington State. Our primary is in 2018. Our general election is in 2018 as well. We have a runoff election in the primary. The top two contenders advance to the general. Regardless of party, they continue on to the general, the top two. So I'm asking for your vote. Keep following me. And there's nothing that you can say that's going to upset me. There's nothing that I'm not going to insult you if we're having a conversation, okay? I do like a lively debate, though. I do like a lively debate. And so, I ask everyone here, the next time we show up tonight, not tonight, but tomorrow night at 6, let's have a debate or something. Let's talk about different things. The good thing about having it on at 6 o'clock is that here on the Pacific Coast, we can still enjoy the news of the day and still have time to do family things or something with your significant other or just me time. That's why I broadcast at 6 o'clock. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. This is Dave Strider. I'm an independent running for U.S. Senate here in Washington State. I don't listen to corporations or super PACs or bundle money. And regrettably, that includes from unions. One voice, your voice. One vote, your vote. I want your voice and I want your vote. Visit me, leave any comment. No question is too difficult to ask. Ladies and gentlemen, good night, and thank you so much for being here. We'll see you soon, tomorrow at 6 Pacific.